this African qualifiers keeps on giving. And this was one of the games I was watching at the same time watching the Nigerian game, but this game was crazy. First of all, Senegal is top two best in Africa. Morocco, Senegal, these are the two of the best Africa has to offer. I know Cote d'Ivoire is the current African champions, but everybody and their mama in Africa knows that these are the two best Africa has to offer. If you're underestimating how good Senegal is, just months ago, Senegal went to England and beat England by 3-1. You would think that Senegal's renaissance is dwindling because they won the African Cup in 2021, so their talent and everything is dwindling after the money stuff. But then they currently possess some of the best African players. And what made this game difficult is that Senegal earlier in their qualifiers, when they went away to Sudan, albeit being on a neutral ground, they drew. And so they were struggling a bit. But then the group is very tough because you have Sudan all of a sudden being so good in Africa. And you have DR Congo, who have historically been one of the better African sides. They were one of the earliest African teams to represent Africa at the World Cup, then known by the name of Zaire. It's been they've been a very historically good African side. They've just not been at the World Cup for a very long time. But one of the most difficult things to any African side can do is go to Congo and beat Congo. Because one of the toughest grounds in Africa is the Mata Stadium in Congo. The atmosphere, everything is always on the side of Congo. And to come back from 2 goals down by Cedric Bakambu and Wissa, it's crazy. It's crazy to do that. Not everyone can do that. But then Senegal pulled that off. And I even think it should have been a 4-2 goal because Senegal, I believe, scored a clean goal, which was chopped off for offside. I don't think that the final touch came off a Senegalese player. But that aside, I think Senegal being in this position has given them the ability to show the world what they are made of, the stuff they are made of. They have Eleman in DI, who, in my opinion, is one of the best African players currently, but is so underrated. The guy is consistent with Everton, consistent with Senegal. One of the better African players we have currently. They have Sheikh Diouf, who's one of also a very good talented player. So even with the aging legs like Koulibaly, Mendy fading off, these youngins are currently Pape Matissa, currently carrying the country on the back, and they are the country I would want representing Africa. But again, I think CAF has to sanction the Congolese for their behavior because as at the time Senegal had equalized to 2-2, they started throwing stuff on the pitch, making the whole atmosphere unsafe. But anyway, congratulations to Senegal. They are the country I would want representing my country.